everybody. Good morning, Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. Okay, so we're still working on G3X trays, right? So we're working on the trays for the avionics that sit behind the panel. I think that's one that you can kind of see. It's a little confusing. Yeah, so there's one of them that's sitting on the workbench there, right at the very bottom. It's kind of hard to tell because it's leaning towards one side. So we're going to be making the other half, or the second tray, today. The important part of this is that I was trying to make something that I could easily replicate, right? I need to make them exactly the same, but I don't. So, first thing that we're doing, and I'll explain what that means in a bit. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're making a new version of the right side of the panel that you can see me working on here, and that was me kind of test fitting the left tray onto the right, So basically you want both trays to be interchangeable if you could. You want them to be exactly the same so that you could, well, I don't know, make a few thousand of these and sell them to your friends. In case this seemed to be an interesting design thing. So when making part of that panel, right, so we have to cut out a giant hole in the center for the display unit, or at least for the display unit I'm using. Again, I'm using some spare 63 thousandths aluminum that I had sitting around. It's a nice thickness. And making that hole for the display, giant pain in the butt, right? Two reasons. One, it's very thick, hard metal. Two, you really need to have some kind of jigsaw to cut it out. And I do have a jigsaw, and you've seen me use it. The problem is that mine only has a wood blade on it. Because I'm too stupid to think oh, let's get a metal blade before I start cutting through metal again. No. Let's use a wood blade. A coarse toothed wood blade. It's a nightmare. Of course, in the video, it looks like it's fine. It looks like it takes about 10 seconds and it all's well. What you don't see is that my hand has shattered itself to pieces by reverberating for the last 2 minutes while trying to cut that thing out. Oh, it's awful. So note to self. Metal blades, which since then I actually have purchased. Problem is my jigsaw's got special blades that proprietary jigsaw blades. How shameful. All right, so some questions and news updates. Got a question from let me see, what was that about? What kind of shrink wrap tubing you're using, right? So I've got a Dymo 4200 label maker, and that label maker can use half-inch, it can use quarter-inch shrink wrap tubing that it actually prints on. I think it might even have a 3/8, but I haven't looked for that yet. I've only bought quarter-inch and half-inch, but that's what I'm using. I also have a bunch of tubes of regular shrink wrap, non-printable. That stuff goes up to like an inch, or shoot, you can get even bigger than that. It's dirt cheap, and I just buy a few feet of it of a time from Spruce, because it's like, what, $1 a foot? Oh, let's see, updates. Everything's still fine on the home front here in sunny California. More people are getting sick, which I'm shocked. I'm not saying I called it, I'm just saying I called it. There's only so much sitting at home and sickness that people can take before they're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going outside. But you might get sick. I don't care. Okay, so there's the panel pieces. There's these side pieces. So, in the next video, I will explain how I'm doing the sizing on this and the strengthening, because you need to strengthen that bottom shelf. So I'll explain all that in the next video. See you soon.